Hi, everybody. Well, bonjour, hola, and hello. Welcome to Worldwide Tea. It is the international drag race podcast where every single week we talk about all things related to the goodness and greatness of the international drag race franchises. And as of April 2025, when we record this, the US is still part of the world, so we're just going to roll with that right now. As always, I am Evan Sawdey from Pop Matters.
I'm Gregory, Ellwood, and Evan, I don't know what you're talking about. I live in the Republic of California. I'm a
Oh,
Californian. I'm
yes.
not sure what this America thing is.
This
But I write,
independent country I
yes.
keep hearing about. Well, hey everybody. We are on, as we've noted before, on the cusp of some international franchises coming back. I don't think it's much of a spoiler because some of the hosts are posting stuff on socials, but I'm pretty confident we can say that Brazil and Philippines and even France are going to be on the docket very, very soon. But as of today, when we record this is the day that they announced at long last the long rumored and accurately rumored cast of All Stars 10. It's finally happening. It's a very exciting tail end of RuPaul's Drag Race season 17, finally ending, finally crowning a winner. Greg, what was your reaction to this final episode of season 17 as it rolled out?
My reaction to this this episode was very happy for Anya. I'm glad she deserved to win. She had 4 challenge wins. She sort of dominated the season in many ways. And I didn't think that I think it's sort of a really good young television cast. I like them very much. I think in like 4 or 5 years, they're all going to be like freaking great queens. They're all going to be killer and they're all going to be like ready for All Stars. I don't think outside of Lydia, many of them are ready for All Stars now. And I guess my big takeaway from the finale is they did not want Lexi to be in the final 2 because they thought that she would eviscerate Anya in the finale lip sync and that Anya would look bad if Anya won. So Jules, who had a great run, who's becoming super popular with the fans, which they realized because of when they shot this, made it to the finale. Very happy for her. I think they were all well-rounded. I thought they had good performances. I'm super happy for Anya. I'm happy for Crystal Envy winning Miss Congeniality. And my other big take is, as someone who complained about it mightily last year and didn't really say anything because I'm like, okay, lost the war. I was shocked how many people online, how many accounts were complaining about them not shooting the finale in a theater anymore. And this was the second year they did it on stage. And I think I was just surprised. Like, I even reached out to Paramount and I was like, this ain't me. Like, I'm not spurring this. Like, but people seemed upset. Did you notice that, Evan?
You feel it. You feel it when Sasha Velour does the wig reveal. You feel it during any of the other instances it's happened. It's just immutable. So, yeah, I would say I'm disappointed. And despite what some random naysayers say online, I think it would be wise for them to bring it back. Do we wonder did we mention or think that they were going to do something live with All Stars 10, or was that still going to be a fully in studio thing?
They are definitely doing something live for All Stars France. I don't know if they're going to do. I'm not, actually, I do know what they're doing for All Stars 10. It's been shot. They basically shot it a week. They shot it the following week, which we'll get to when we talk about the amazing returning queen that everyone in the world who knows anything about Drag Race has pretty much known, unless you're just like a super casual fan. I guess my takeaway was, they made a really bizarre choice last year for season 16. They not only did they not shoot in a theater, they waited about 6 weeks after the original season shot. So in 2024 they shot it. Sorry, 2023, the summer of 2023.
Right.
6 weeks after they finished. So no one had seen the season. There was no reaction to the queens. They didn't have any feedback at all. The queens, when they came back in the workroom, couldn't say like, hey, you did blank, or like, hey, Corey, you doing, Susie Toots on Cameo. Like, there was none of that. If you go back and look at it, it's
Yeah.
very like self-contained. And I think they realized that was a mistake, even though it was a good finale. And instead, they split the difference. So they stayed in the studio, but they waited. They waited to the traditional time they would normally shoot it. And it allowed them to have some storylines. It allowed them to when they did the lip sync Lollapalooza to really knows that like, oh, Susie Toots, like that storyline worked, but she also was as popular as we hoped she'd be. So there were things that worked from a production level where I get it. The weird thing is when you're in that theater and I've been to 5 taped finales, it's still shot like a TV show. Like it starts and stops, starts and stops. But because of the energy in the room, because there's a lot of members of the general public and fans, it feels more real. And when I showed up to do the interviews, my biggest disappointment, because we were doing them the day they shot the finale, was they paid SAG extra actors. And by the way, blessed that they got a day rate to like shoot there and be there. And by the way, a lot of reality competition shows do this. There's paid extras on The Masked Singer. It's how they keep spoilers, like because you're signed an NDA. And my reaction was, oh, like I'd at least hope that they would bring back local alumni or like queens who were around to at least fill it up partially in the audience so they could at least react because they were watching the show or they were paying attention. Right. They don't want spoilers, and I get it. And those queens probably feel like, listen, if you're not paying me more than, the $500 fee for SAG per day, or maybe it's $350, like why would I get in drag and show up? Totally get it. Like the exposure might not be worth it. But that was my concern. But I think they do need to look at this forward, because your friend complaining about like, you pay for it. Well, first of all, in these crazy times, this episode was sponsored by Oil of Olay, which is one of the biggest sponsors they've ever had. And Starbucks were looking for you to forget about the Palestinian connections we have. Coffee, who basically sponsored the whole episode. They got money. They got paid for this. And by the way, thank God, or we wouldn't have more Drag Race. So will they do it again? The problem is Ru doesn't want to. Ru's over it. So until someone who's close to Ru can convince her that they need to do it this way, or that there's a way to do it that it's faster, or that she can be more comfortable, or that there's a way to do it, I think they can. I think there's maybe another split the difference where maybe they don't shoot it in a theater, but they get a bigger sound stage, they bring in bleachers, and they find a way to do it with the same stage where like you can bring in members of the public, you can charge them, who cares, or not, like give them free tickets, it doesn't matter, but that it can have that energy. And I think that's what they need. And also, you know what? Even when they went back to Vegas, which was sort of contractually they had to do, it was a smaller theater, but it still had that energy because the public was in it. It had big ceilings. It made it seem different. They need to find a way to do that again.
Well, and I think even with 2015, I think it was like if you have a ticket to DragCon, you could also like get a buy-in to be a part of the live finale or something. They had some sort of deal going on
you mean 2023, I think.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, the years are just flying by. But you are correct. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yes.
Yeah. I guess probably the real question then is, where do you fall before we jump onto our wonderful all-stars train of wonderful 18 queens? Where do you fall on lip sync gate? Because a lot of people seem to have very differing opinions about who actually won the final lip sync of the season. A lot of people say that Anya's win is very much a season win, much like Jinx Monsoon with All-Star 7. Yeah. Some say the lip sync didn't matter. I'm personally of the opinion, and I'm just being fully honest here, I don't think either of them were particularly good. I don't think some people were just like, Anya embodied the song, and some people said, oh, but look how planned Jules was. It was all right. I don't think it was one of the best lip syncs of the season, certainly, but unlike last year when we had Nymphia versus Saphira, which was a battle. But yeah, there's a lot of controversy online. I just wanted to know if you had any free thoughts on that.
I mean, I guess my reaction was I felt bad for Lady Gaga because I think the song needs a better lip sync than this.
She's doing better than Yes and from earlier in the season by Ariana, I'll say that much.
And I will say, sometimes that's what All Stars is for. Maybe they'll find a way to bring the song back, a couple years and do a better lip sync. And you never know, but we already knew this. We already knew this cast was not a great lip syncing cast. They've never been a great lip syncing cast. And the queens who were the good lip syncers never lip synced. Like Lexi Love. Lexi Love was never in the bottom. Like Lexi Love never lip synced, but she's one of the best ones in the cast, which by the way, thank God. Like I didn't want her to be in the bottom. Right. But Lana Jarrett she's a fine queen. She's very good, so smart. I really like her. she's not at the level of like Morphine or or even like the okay lip syncers from last season. She's
Right.
nowhere near Mirage, like nowhere near them. And we got super spoiled from season 15, where there are maybe 5 queens on that cast who are like, I would pay $20 to go see them perform and lip sync somewhere.
It's so interesting too because I was talking about Anya Nerve. I think we've discussed is maybe a little bit more reserved than some other people. She seems definitely to be have a very much a turned on persona a little bit.
Mhm.
It's the kind of thing where I'm not sure if she was necessarily going to be a shoo-in for All Stars, but the rest of that top six from Lana and Susie and Sam and Alexi, I feel like all of them, we're going to see them on All Stars at some point. I feel like that was designed for it in a couple years' time, or depending, maybe a year's time, or less than a year. Well, we'll see.
I think one of the interesting things that got me excited today, actually, about the All Stars 10 reveal was just realizing how many season 13, 14, 15 queens were on this season. And first, because of how All Stars works, and we sort of were in this era where they kept going back and trying to bring like Pandora Box back and like, Jessica Wilde. Some of the recent like queens had sort of like been pushed aside, unlike earlier All-Star seasons. We're literally in eras of All-Stars.
Right.
And this made me realize, oh wait, if they keep doing these 18 seasons, we're going to get more recent queens. And that sort of got me excited. I don't know if I'm that excited about queens from this season being on the next All-Stars. I think they need some time. I think they need some baking. I think there's a bunch of queens from 16 and 15 who are ready to come back if they want to. But I am a little I don't know if lingerie would be great on shooting an all-star season this summer. I don't know if Sam Starr would do really well. Should Sam wait? Could Sam win in maybe like 3 or 4 years? Maybe. Like they're all smart and they're all like in a weird place with drag, and like there's so many queens out there and there's only so many jobs, which is not about the industry dying. It's about what happens naturally when there's new actors and new acts. It's a thing. And if you don't have longevity, you don't have longevity. But it's a whole other subject. But I am super curious to see how many of them can turn this into something else. I don't think if you had told me halfway through season 16 that Morphine would be a drag race staple, or that Plain Jane would be at Drag Race Live, I would not have believed you, or that one of the most consistently booked queens in the entire cast was Mirage. I would have been shocked. I wouldn't have believed you. So let's see what happens a year from now. Let's see which one of them can, like, maybe Corey King is the surprise social media hit, gets brand endorsements. Like, we don't know.
Yeah, she'll be the next Trixie Mattel. Who knows? You don't have to do good on your original season in order to
But
make it happen.
you do need iconic makeup, maybe, if you're not. Yeah.
She got noticeably better during that lip sync Lollapalooza where she had a year.
But Evan, I have one really pressing question I have been dying to ask you all day. All day. Evan, are you ready for my cuckoo?
No one's ready. No one's ready for that much cuckoo. All right, everybody, the cat's out of the bag. It's the Tournament of All-Stars, 18 queens, 3 brackets coming together all around. We're just going to talk about all of them and what our thoughts and feelings are. I think what Greg and I talked about before, we're going to go bracket by bracket on here. So let's jump into it. If you're cool.
Yeah. Oh no, wait. Let's really quickly just explain in case you've been living under a rock. Super quickly. So 18 queens divided into 3 groups of 6. Each group will do 3 episodes. So when you watch the first 3 episodes, you'll only see the first bracketed group of 6 queens. Out of that group, only 3 of them will make it to the merge. Yes, they're using Survivor terminology, I've been told, for it. So, and when we get to the merge, which only shot 3 weeks ago, there will be 9 queens. Then it will be a lip sync for your life for 2 episodes. It will get us down to 7 queens. 1 will be invited back. and then there'll be 8 queens, and they will, in the finale, and by the way, this is in the press release, we're not giving this away, we'll do a lip sync Lollapalooza for the crown in the finale episode. So the one great thing about this entire season, it is going to go boom, boom, boom quick. It will always seem like something new is happening because they aren't around very long.
And it's also noted, per what Greg had mentioned last episode, they're not going to do the same challenges in each bracket.
Mm-mm.
It's going to be a split of different challenges. They might be saving Snatch Game for the merge, or something like that. But for the most part, it's going to be design and dance and maybe girl group. I don't know. We don't
Yeah,
know that much, but it'll be different for
comedy.
each bracket.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Cool.
And in one other quick thing, sorry I'm interrupting you one
Oh,
last
you're
time.
fine.
If you did not watch the video, and they will keep it a secret for now because Paramount isn't ready to announce, Acid Betty was not kidding when she said this is the greatest group of guest judges they have ever had. There are 3 recent Oscar nominees from this past year who shot as guest judges this past summer. It is going to be wild.
I can't wait to see what Carlos Sofia Garcon has to say about these.
Someone who said to me, Fernanda Torres? No.
No.
No, sorry, Brazil. No Fernanda Torres.
Look, hey, Drag Race Brazil is coming back, season
Yeah.
2, coming right up. It's good. All right, Greg, let's get into it. I can't wait to get your thoughts. I can't wait to see who you think is gonna win. I know you know some things, but I want to get your personal oomph out there.
Yes.
Bracket 1, returning third time around from season 9 and All Stars 3, Aja.
Listen, Aja, legendary veteran. She was member of, wait, I'm saying the name wrong. Is it Mugler? It's what's the name of her house?
She was, well, I think she was initially House of LaBeija. And then when she was on Legendary, I can't remember which house she competed with.
Right, it's the same one as Olivia. It's
Oh,
I'm gonna
Miyake
pronounce.
Mugler, yeah.
Yes, she's Miyake Mugler. So they have representation 2 times. Listen, Aja has gone through a lot. I am rooting for her. And I thought her promo look was good, but I wasn't like necessarily blown away. What did you think?
Same. When in that same group chat with all my Drag Race fans, I talked about how a queen that's near and dear to my heart is always going to be Team Denali in a later bracket there. I did not get the most upvotes in the group. The most upvotes went to Team Aja. So a lot of people are really, really stoked to have her back. And, we could talk about maybe she deserved to stay longer in All Stars 3. Maybe she went out at the right time. But either way, like, especially after, let's not forget, All Stars 8, when she was the lip sync assassin against our wonderful Kahana Montrese to Freakum Dress, destroyed the freaking stage. Like,
Yeah,
the fans are ready. I'm ready. I can't wait to see what she does now.
I can't. Yeah, I'm really excited. So Evan, next up is actually her ball house sister, ball family sister. Oh wait, she's going by Olivia Lux now. What did she used to go by? It wasn't
Olivia
Olivia.
Lux.
No, wait, she had another. I thought she was something else. Anyway, Olivia Lux. And first, I have to say, she made this costume. She made her promo look. It is freaking incredible. She looks so good.
This wig that she has on is actually very immaculate. It's quite incredible. And I think she was right. In the promo interview, she talks about how she wasn't expecting her smile to have radiated as she has. She has one of the best smiles, hands down, in all of drag, like truly. She still very much gave Eager Beaver Theater Kid energy in her first season. So the fact that she's since then joined Miyake Mugler and is now in a ballroom house, that excites me because I think that only endears herself and has made her probably a better performer, a more immediate
Hmm.
performer. I'm curious. She's not my personal favorite going into it, but I'm really curious to see how she's grown. I think this is a perfect venue for that.
I am curious if there will be pressure on her. I think a lot of people forget during that season, she wasn't necessarily the front runner, but people thought she was going to make it to the top. She won 2 challenges, like, and then all of a sudden she went home. So actually, I think Plasma that recently happened to? I think won
Yes,
2 and then went home.
another 2 challenge winner, then immediately go homer.
And then immediately go home. So I'm hoping she can live up to the pressure, and I'm just hoping she starts touring again because I've seen her perform once live and she was fantastic.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited.
And then we have Evan. We have a legend from Atlanta, Georgia, but not that legend. She is the Morgan McMichaels of Atlanta. She is the local queen. She is the Nina West in a way. When if Nina West still lived in Ohio, it lived in Columbus. We have Phoenix, the hostess of the mostess in Atlanta. What do you first of all, do you remember Phoenix? Because none of my friends do.
Freaking barely. Like during her Meet the Queens promo when she talked about her real thing is being known for having the same wig as another queen that entered the room, Prison Honey, obviously. Like that's not the best meme to go off of, but also in those early seasons they chewed up queens and spat them out pretty
Yeah.
quickly on that end. So the fact that it was interesting hearing her how she's now become a booker, a promoter. She's like
Yep.
a drag queen, but also owns clubs and is doing the finances on them. And for me, it's kind of interesting because that just makes me think she probably has a better idea of what sells and what works so much better.
Mhm.
And it's also been 15 fucking years. Like that ain't not for nothing. So I'm excited by that, but also we have seen historically with All Stars queens that like, oh, they need another second shot. Monica Beverly Hills and
Mhm.
Serena Cha-Cha. It just don't happen. So it's that thing where I'm always excited because I want to see what these queens are like in the modern era, how they're reintroduced, if they become fan favorites like Jessica Wilde so clearly was and deserved to be. But I don't know. We'll see. Her energy is so reserved that it's hard for me to get a good read off the bat.
I mean, listen, I don't know Phoenix, but if you talk to any gay or drag fan in Atlanta, they absolutely know who Phoenix is. She is the local Morgan McMichaels. Like, again, she owns her clubs. Morgan doesn't, but she's on the circuit. You can find her performing any weekend everywhere. And listen, she had filler 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm just impressed that I'm just the filler that is still there now is just blowing my mind. And also I liked her promo look. I thought it was
Yeah.
good. I thought it
Yeah.
was classy and it looked elevated. And I thought she knew what she was doing when she showed up.
Now, to that end, one of my favorite promo looks from this whole group might have actually gone to Irene the Alien, formerly Irene Dubois from season 15.
I incredible.
Yeah.
Actually one of three I'm gonna get his name wrong. Domino Couture, the Emmy-winning costume designer from We're Here, who is a Sasha Velour's BFF, Bob the Drag Queen, Monet Exchange, like normally does a lot of stuff for them. Did this look? I need to look up and see what the other two looks are, but this was one of them, and it is absolutely incredible.
I mean, the thing is that she so clearly in her two episodes before the real Friends of WeHo aired, in her two episodes, she managed to just become a talking head, was witty and smart, and had established friendships with so many queens already. There has never, not since, I would almost argue, almost since Avanchi, has there ever been a first out that so clearly deserves another shot at it. Genuinely.
Oh, hands down the worst first out I think they have ever had. I maybe they'd admit that on a couple drinks. They never should have sent her home. She would have brought so much drama to the workroom. And if you during that season, I remember every week I would go look at her runways that she hadn't been able to
Mhm.
walk the runway and incredible. Like she would have slayed the season and she was justifiably angry she went home the first
Right.
episode. Maybe she probably would have been okay if she went home a couple episodes, but to go home then to in the situation she did, it was a huge mistake. I think she's going to surprise people. I think people are in for a major surprise.
It's the thing where do I think she's going to win it just based off of what I know about her? I don't know about that, but I am just so excited to have her back and just to reestablish herself. Like it's one of my favorite things about All Stars to see that growth and maybe rewrite some narratives. She's primed for it. She's ready.
And what's so interesting is she is joined by her Seattle sister who no longer lives in Seattle. Bosco, they are BFFs, they're super good friends. And Bosco looks incredible. Absolutely incredible. What did you think, Evan?
Oh my God. It's interesting because I remember Irene talked about in her first episode of season 15 how she went the alien route and Bosco went the devil route. And now Bosco even is like, I'm not even doing devil shit anymore. I'm just God's favorite transsexual. And I think that's such an interesting pivot. She is the burlesque queen, but also the thing that's interesting, like she went to top five on her season. And since then, what has she been doing? Oh, that's right. She's been doing God knows how many fucking weeks at Drag Race Live Vegas. She is primed and ready as a performer to go. Now, Go
Not
ahead.
only that, she's it. By the way, if you have not watched the second season of Drag Race Live Untucked, also known as the Derek Barry Show, is up, and it is once again utterly entertaining. If you need 25 minutes, forget about the world. The first episode is up. I think the second episode is up today. I am not being, this is not a paid endorsement. It is super entertaining. And she is the best quote unquote straight man for that whole crew. She's funny and she's witty, but she knows how to bounce off them. And I feel like she's going to surprise people in a comedy challenge here. I have no tea, but I think she has learned a lot since she was on this show.
It was so funny that when she was doing her Meet the Queen section of the interview that went out today, she talked about the challenges when I was talking are the ones that I won, so I should just lean into that. I'm like, she's not wrong.
No,
She did the row, she did the men's talk, and she was like ruled those very handily. I'm like, very interesting. But yeah, it has to have a sharp wit in order to do that. So I expect her to go far. I could be wrong, I could be disappointed. I just fully expect that she's going to have a very similar run to her first season.
listen, I have no tea if there is or not, but I am hoping that there's a roast either when she's there or in one of the final two episodes because I think she'd kill it. Um,
100%.
Evan, last but not least in the orange group. You know, I'm just gonna spoil it. I'm gonna tell you right now, Deja Sky is not winning RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 10. If you are a Deja Sky stan, first of all, bless you. Um, I I have not listen, Deja is super nice. I have never she is the most mid queen who has been on this show since the first Trump administration. I cannot with her. I just do not understand why Will loves her. I do not she was a boss queen. That's why she was in Drag Race Vegas Live. I do not get it. Her look is fine. She looks good. She looks fine. I I will not miss her after the first three episodes. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm sorry if that spoiled it. If you really thought Deja Sky was making it to the top nine, sorry. Spoiler alert.
There's been a thing that happens every once in a while on the old socials where someone will post like the video of her doing her Moulin Rouge segment, like how did she not win for this week doing the Lil Kim part? And it's like, y'all, did you see her runway, her mirror runway where she was wearing basically reflective tinfoil? And people just being like, the runways don't always count, they don't always matter. It's like it was bad. It was really fucking
It's
bad.
bad.
But I will say I did have a friend of mine who went and saw the Work the World tour that she did shortly after her season and said that she was one of the best parts. Like, she held the stage, hit it with comedy. Like, I think the live performing, I think, probably helped her out a little bit. That said, she was never my favorite. The Pastel Princess, let's not forget. She's certainly here, and also you need a queen to go home first. I don't think she will necessarily go home first, maybe in her bracket,
Well,
but
well, none of them go home first because they
oh
all stay all three episodes because it's on a point system.
God.
So they all are guaranteed three episodes. So we will have three episodes of Deja Sky. Um, but wait, but this is the big question, and then I will stop, ripping on Deja Sky, who I'm sure is a nice person and does not need more hate. Again, we love all queens on here. We're all as a person, we want them to succeed and have good lives and whatever. But I will say this, Evan, you live on the east side. Would you drive down to Precinct and pay $10 to see Deja Sky perform at Precinct?
I gotta be honest, and this might shock the world. Probably not. I
Probably
don't
not.
think I'd pay that Uber. I don't think I'd pay that Lyft to do that. I might do it for Bosco. I'd definitely do it
Yes.
for Aja. I would do it for Aja. Absolutely. There's no
I
question.
would do it for if Irene and Bosco were both there.
Oh
I
my
would definitely do it.
God. That'd be iconic.
Also, also, we should notice there's a really interesting thing about these first three episodes. They have put two queens tied together in the groups, maybe for interesting drama or want them to form alliances. So you've got Irene and Bosco, and you've got Aja and Olivia both in the same houses. So interesting to see how this sort of plays out.
hmm It's interesting because there's also just a lot of girls from season 14 here. This is the dominant season
It
this time
is.
out. So we got two, Bosco and Deja Sky. We got them. And then I think we have at least Georges and Carrie in another group. And then in another group, we have Alyssa and Daya. So it is
Yeah.
there's a whole bracket of season 14 girls by itself. So
And by the way, these are queens who've been waiting to come back. They've wanted to come back for a while and they finally got the call.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of bracket number two, I think we should
Yep.
dive right in. And, if there's anything that you should know about me or Greg, we talk about our lives a little bit on here, but Greg has always told me that, he's been following drag for the longest time, not just Drag Race, but all over the world and whatnot. But his number one favorite queen, he tells me every
Always.
time, is Tina Burner. He loves
Always.
Tina Burner. When you look at her YouTube videos that she posted since her season that have up to 780 views, he's at least two of those views. I can almost guarantee you.
Well, you know, listen, Tina Burner is still a New York City working queen. She is working those weeknight gigs. I give her credit. Like, it's tough. She's out there on Fire Island all summer long, getting those tips. It is tough. I don't know if she was season 13, right? Season 13.
Yeah, she was season 13, yes, with
Yeah.
Candy Muse and Simone and all that. Yeah.
I'm not sure that was the experience she thought it was going to be. I think she had bigger hopes.
Well, so just real quick, and this is I'm being totally
Yeah.
serious here for a second. You watched the entire promo today?
Yes, she's in it, isn't she? Like
Oh yeah, yeah,
she's
she is. But her and one other queen that we'll get to kind of sounded defeated a little bit on here, and I'm not sure what the
oh.
aspect is, but she's like, I'm wearing pink today, and that's not my usual color, but I'm wearing it. It's like, oh,
Well, that's Tina
okay,
Burner.
like it's
That's Tina Burner. Like that's always been Tina Burner. I feel like any New York like regular will tell you you get that from her shows.
Mhm.
I will say she is the second Domino Couture
Hmm.
dress, which if you look at it, you can see the hints of Jimbo's dress from 2 seasons ago on All Stars 8, where that was a much more beautiful one. And this is very much a Mae West inspired look. But for Tina, she looks good. Like she looks good. She's probably
Uh,
upset she wasn't in the Fire Orange group because that's her thing. Like
yeah.
I'm sure she was annoyed.
The
But
producers were like, "Please, for the love of God, we can't deal with that cup palette anymore. If we can make it happen." Also, it's always rough when it's good for her. Like that is, listen, I'm glad that she's here. I hope she does well. We'll see how it turns out. But hey,
yeah,
there's other queens that we have on here, including where do we go next? Oh, of
we
course,
we go to the one and only, the resurrection of Jesus, as someone described online, from Atlanta, Georgia. The one and only Nicole Page Brooks
Nicole Page Brooks.
from Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm
Um,
excited. I don't care. I really am. Like it's so stupid. Like how long did she last on her season? Because Phoenix lasted 2 episodes. So Nicole, was it 2 or 3? I felt like she was maybe out a little bit early. I can't
I
recall.
think she's at least three. I could be wrong. I think it's three. Like
Yeah.
I, I don't think she didn't go home first, and I don't think she went home second. I think it was season 2, right?
Yes, it was season 2. She
Wait,
did
now
go
I
home
want to look it
second. I'm
up.
sorry. She was,
Oh, she did.
yeah, during a choreography challenge.
Oh, well, hopefully. I think my favorite part about her promo was how or when during the promo where she was talking about how like she hasn't had any work done. And I'm looking at her face and I'm like, girl, there is Botox everywhere. I don't know what you're talking.
I'll be honest though. I'll be honest. I think she looks pretty good.
She
All
does.
things
She looks
considered.
great.
Yeah.
She looks great. And I loved her look. I loved this like with the shawl over her head. I thought it looked classy and she looked,
Beautiful earrings that are dangling down. This
yeah.
perfect framing device. It was actually pretty solid. Yeah. So
No,
it's one of the
she
things.
looked
Do I
awesome.
have high hopes? Not really. But I would
Mm-mm.
love to be surprised that it is truly what All Stars is all about, and it's like I would love to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm rooting for her.
Yeah.
Next up, Evan, we have the Chaos Agent herself. I don't know if she's gonna make it through this season without World of Wonder and Paramount threatening her NDA. But the one and only Mistress Isabel Brooks in first of all, bodysuit, but a stunning bodysuit, like stoned to the nines. And I don't know if this is what she intended or what she wanted, but those raccoon eye makeup, I'm just staring at it. Like I'll never unsee it. I looked at it and went, raccoon eyes, and now I can't stop.
You know, here's the thing, though. Her and another queen that's on this cast list, Diabetti, had, I think, very similar runs wherein there are villains and then there's queens who are just throwing shade or at least sometimes being honest. Like, Diabetti went through the mud. I very, very remember famously there was that pit stop in which it was getting near the finale of their season, and Bob was like, I think I'm team Diabetti. Like, and at
Yeah.
the same time, like, I kind of grew to that too, where it's just like, oh God, she's such a bitch. But then after a while, you're like, no, she's really good at what she does. And Mistress was, if you want to talk about sharp wits, Mistress is next to unkillable. Like she is holding it up there. She's funny. She does in pretty great drag. And it's like, I think she's going to be a really tough force to reckon with. I would maybe even argue it's a little bit soon for her to come back because I feel like being on an overstuffed season like this is very daunting. But like, can she cut through the noise? I have a feeling she'll go far. I could be surprised, but I don't know. I feel like she's definitely one of the heavyweights.
I will say they set this group up for her to do well.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's an understatement. I will also say, first of all, just because we will talk about Di in a second, like Mistress and Plain Jane made Di look like an angel. Like Mistress, Mistress is still delusional. Like I used to think she thought it was all a game, but in
Mhm.
this promo, she literally said that she, Anitra, or Lux could have all won the final over Sasha Colby, who had an historic run and literally swept the floor of them. She is
Mhm.
still bitter that she lost, that she didn't make the top two of that final. It is insane. But you know what? You need delusion to be a drag queen. She
Mhm.
looks great, and what we know this, she will make good TV. And there are a number of other queens on this group with her. Well, first of all, I'm super curious to see how she interacts with Nicole and Tina because they are not going to put up with this crap. So Carrie and the rest of them will. We'll get to them in a second. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Speaking of the next queen, since I already spoiled her, LA's own former Party by Ospinoff hostess, Carrie Colby, the Tranos, as she calls
Thanos.
herself,
Yeah.
Tranos, looking stunning, um, comes out and you've lived in Los Angeles now for 2 years, or maybe a little over 2 years. Have you been able to enjoy a Carrie Colby performance in Los Angeles
Not
yet?
yet. Not yet. I have not.
Hmm.
Wait, wonder
It's
why.
been a couple years since she's been on the show, and I don't know if she's learned a lot from her mom. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna leave it at that.
Listen. Not every drag parent is gonna be the same. We know that. We just saw it with Corey King and Plain Jane. They're very
Yeah,
different people, even though they come from the same drag family. But like, yeah, it's the thing where she will always be stunning. That's just
yeah.
unquestioned about her. But just like as they showed in her promo, she doesn't know how to be ugly. It's sometimes hard to be vulnerable. But even then, she also said in her promo, and I'll give her credit for this too. As much as I wanted to win, if I didn't lose and was broken and remade, I would not be where I am right now. And I think
Mm.
the fact that she admitted to that, I thought was actually pretty cool and pretty open and pretty honest. She really described it as being a necessary step for her. So it's like, okay, cool. Now, will that translate into performance challenges? Will she be dancing? Will she be doing this during the lip sync still? I don't know. But I'm curious. I know she'll bring the fashion. I just, as with her first season, I want to know what else. That's the big question mark for me.
I think her best shot are the design and acting challenges, and fingers crossed that she can do super well in those.
Yeah. Yeah. We're hoping. We'll see.
We're hoping. All right, next up, she's back again, 2 years in a row. And let me tell you, if you go to the comments on the Insta, a lot of people are sort of like what I thought when I heard about this 12 months ago. Really? Yes, Rue's favorite, little petite Georges is back again. Um, Evan, I think you already knew she was going to be on the season. But when you
Yeah.
first heard about it, what was your reaction to Georges coming back to All Stars 2 years in a row?
Truly, I think you may have already said the word already, but the word is already. Like I think the whole point of it is that at some point you reach a saturation level. Like the thing is that when Juju B came back for her next run when she finally did another All-Star season when she did All-Stars 4, like okay, it's been a couple years since All-Stars 1. That
Yep.
makes sense to me. Okay, cool. I think I'm down with that. I understand right here. Here it's back to back to back and it's like girl, I don't know what we were gonna see that's new. It's the kind of thing where like I just know what she's gonna slot into. I know she'll probably do pretty good on a lip sync, and it's just like I don't know what I'm gonna yet to be surprised by. And that's kind of the reason why like part of the reason you want queens to have a little bit of time in between their seasons so that they can grow and develop those experiences. And maybe Carrie Colby will have stuff that surprises us genuinely. But at the same token, it's like Okay, cool. Are we going to be? I mean, listen, nothing against Ginger Minge, who's back for yet a fourth iteration on yet
Yeah.
another queen, who, by the way, sounded pretty defeated in her promo, which wasn't the best feeling in the world. I'm just like, all right, she's there. I would be surprised if anyone is pegging her to take the crown. Let's put it that way.
I think we should never underestimate Rue's love for Petite Little Georges.
Hmm.
I think the only thing that disappointed me was after being on an all-star season where they all had pretty much great runways because that was paid, it was the part of the deal. Um, this is her promo. She did this recently. She didn't do this when she shot it like last summer. And yeah, we should make everyone clear, everyone, if they sound defeated, it's because some of them didn't make the merge 8 months ago and have been asked to come back to shoot these promos and pretend that everything's been great in the months since. She used the same designer she always uses. This guy named Casio, who's fantastic, but it's the same look, it's the same aesthetic. She's not trying to do anything different than she did a year ago, and that scares me a little bit, or maybe disappoints a little. But she's fun, and if she's in the top two and she's lip syncing, she's going to put on a show.
You will? Absolutely. But she'll once again lose to Anya Nerve. That's just how it goes
Yeah,
sometimes. Doesn't matter how many reveals you have, it only goes
yeah.
just so far.
Wait, are you sure you're not talking about Jules? Are
Oh,
you ta-
sorry. No. George is.
Jules,
That's what I
Georges?
meant
It's
to
all the
say.
same.
Yeah. It was so
Yeah,
funny
yeah,
because even in one of the pit stops, I think someone made that joke already,
yeah.
too. So that was.
Although Jules is like 5'11", not in heels. Like Jules
Right.
is not tiny. The
Right.
only tiny person in that cast is Sam Starr. Sam Starr is like little pocket gay, like 5'6". But the rest of them are sort of tall. But speaking of season 17, Evan, the shock of all shocks, the surprise of all surprises to anyone in the world who did not know, what was your reaction to Lydia B. Kollins walking through that virtual door?
There's whatever I'm about to say is kind of irrelevant because here's the thing for all the listeners at home. Greg spoke to Lydia not too long ago and very specifically asked about her journey from there to here and from season 17 to here. It's a lot less time than I thought it was going to be. And I
Yeah.
think we should maybe hold off on that because I think we maybe want to round up this recap with that interview because it's actually really fascinating and she's just lovely to speak to. But I'll just briefly say when it was kind of spoiled for a lot of people that she was going to be
Yeah.
on it while the season was airing. And at first it's like, really? Why? And over time, you start to see it. Now I get it. And now I think, judging from the comments that Greg was forwarding to me a little bit earlier from online, I think, unlike other queens like Georges, people are excited about the fact that Lydia's here.
Yeah, I'm going to be really honest. This could have gone very, very badly for
Yeah.
Paramount and WoW, or this could have gone super well. And this has gone way better than I think even Lydia or any of them thought. It also helps she has a great promo and she looks incredible. And
Mhm.
as she'll talk about in her interview we're going to play, she has been very strategic in what she decided to do in all her promo looks for season 17. That was the old Lydia. And even though there was time in between, she kept doing that old Lydia. And now the new Lydia is here and she looks utterly incredible. Like this look is so freaking good.
Yeah.
But we should come back to it. The only other thing I will say about it is what I cannot wait to see is none of these queens in her group had watched the season. First of all, her
Right.
season had shot.
Right.
They didn't know who she was, and also she's not like a queen in New York, Miami, or LA, or even San Francisco or Seattle, who they may have like gone to a gig and met.
Run into. Yeah.
No, she was like a local Pittsburgh queen who did not know most of these queens at all. She did not have a lot of followers. In fact, when she was on season 17, she was not pegged as being on the cast because no one knew that she would disappear. Like there was no one to say, hey, she's not in town. And so when she went to All Stars, nobody knew it either. So people kept wondering who is the other queen in this group. And by the time they figured out, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So it is super wild. And I am just cannot wait, but I am thrilled. But if you go and look at the comments on her post, so many of her posts, they love her. They
Right.
like
Other
genuinely love
queens
her.
international queens, like they're all about it. And I will say though, there is some precedence here because there have been queens who've had the season to All Stars pipeline rather jettisoned, and I think the last time I can explicitly remember that happening was Katya, who
No,
went.
it was a year.
Oh, that was a full year still.
No,
Okay,
no. So the season had aired, and then they went and shot. She and Ginger went and shot a year. So the season had and Ginger had lost, and then they shot. The only queen who's done anything like this is Chad Michaels. Chad Michaels lost All Stars 4 and then came back and did, sorry, lost season 4 and then came back and did All Stars 1 like 4 or 5 months later.
incredible. Good
It's the only
honor.
one. Yeah, an
Hey,
honor.
it's you got to understand, you got to feel the moment and know when it's worth the right time. I know, as we've discussed previously, some of the queens on this cast we know have been asked back for All Stars
Yes.
8 and All Stars 9 and said no because they wanted to have enough time and enough experience to mature, which I think is probably the right decision. But we'll see because now we're at bracket 3. And man, let me tell you, I think this is one of the more chaotic brackets, I think, of the ones that we have left. A lot of very interesting queens on here, including, I'm so curious what your take is on the robbed queen, according to her, Alyssa Hunter from season 14.
I mean, I do think Alyssa was robbed on her season. I thought
It was
that
the money gun. The money gun
yeah.
ruined the lip sync. Definitely not anything else.
I I think she was I think she deserved a longer run. I
Mhm.
was really surprised. I thought it was at the time I remember thinking she was being penalized a little bit for her English, which had not happened in a long time with a Spanish speaking queen on the show, which was odd to me. But listen, this look is incredible.
It's maybe the best one of the whole cast. I'm just gonna
It
say.
is it is uh it's up, it is definitely up there. It is so good. And listen, she's still the trade of the season. Like out of this group,
According
she
to
is
her.
according to her. And you know what? I won't disagree. Listen, she's hot. She is a hot out of boy drag, and um, I hope that this helps propel her career and get her more sort of touring gigs. What did you
Yeah.
think?
I'm gonna, here, if there's anything we do here, Worldwide T, it's we keep it
Be
honest.
honest.
There is something about her promo where I'm not sure if she has this personality that she puts on or what it is, but she just feels out of place. I don't know what it is. Like when she's
Hmm.
doing her interviews, which is like, look, I am the trade of the season, TRADE. It says it right here on my outfit. It's like, okay, I feel like she's like buying into like a persona that just feels like put on. Like I feel like, and throughout the entire run of when she was on her season, I feel like I really didn't get to know who she really was, if I'm being honest. Like, I always felt like, like I won all these pageants, I'm professional, I'm beloved, but I never got to see why. I saw that she
Yeah.
did pretty okay drag, and a lot of people thought she was hot, but I didn't get to see the actual personality on her. And it feels like just from the promo right now, she's doing kind of the same thing, where I'm not sure what kind of wall or performance veneer is up. I'm just not seeing it. But then again, I'm going to call myself out on this because when we did the Meet the Queens for season 17, I didn't think it sounded to me Susie Toot sounded like a scared individual, and boy was I fucking wrong about that. So I will clock myself on inaccurate opinions in the past. But yeah, I am curious to see. I want her to do well. This promo look gives me a lot of hope, but the wall needs to come down. You need to be vulnerable to be a relatable queen, and I just need to see that in her before I am fully on board.
I am hoping for the best for her. I do sense, I agree with you. There's a little bit of trying too hard with her, and even on
Yeah,
her first season, she was that way. But fingers crossed. But that
yeah.
brings us to perhaps one of the unexpectedly, I did not expect the reaction to be this controversial. The returning of the, what was she known as? The toad frog,
The
the
glamour
glamour
toe,
toad.
glamour
The
toe.
glamour toad. She's been around a long time, baby. And also, this is her fourth time on an American season. The one and only Ginger Minj.
Ginger Minge.
Evan, I have to tell you, you know what keeps blowing my mind? I still think in my head that she has been on a Canada versus the World season. I don't know why. She just screams Canada versus the World top
Thousand
four to me.
percent,
I
thousand
don't know
percent.
why.
Yeah.
Is that not wild?
I mean, listen. After Kennedy and Alexis Mateo, by the way, Continental Elite winner now
Yes.
officially, our pageant queen, deserved. Only gets
Yes.
better. Like I feel like it's I've heard from other queens. I think it was like Trixie and other people who have talked about like you will not meet a queen more competitive than Ginger Minch. Like she is truly, she's in this to win this. As much as it's her fourth time around, she really thinks she can get it. And I still remember in her All-Star 6 thing, there was Rue did one of those stupid things where it's like, hey, you all had your table talk groups, and this table did the best, but one queen from another group is winning the challenge. It's Ginger Minch this week. It's like, really? Like it just she
Mm.
has I feel like throughout time, I think part of the reason why I'm not as excited about her is that this is her third time through, and I'm not sure if there's evolution that I see. She'll make the funny faces, she'll have, good to adequate drag on there, and there'll be various lengths of, the hem of the skirt, which will be controversial. But like it's just like I don't know what to expect outside of what we've already seen before. And that's kind of the part that's just like, could the spot have gone to someone else? Again, she's ambitious. She clearly loves it. Rue clearly loves her too. And the one thing I really liked is that in her promo, she talked about one of her favorite things to ever have happen was how before it was eggs, and now it's the Lizzo phone lip sync that she did with Mayhem Miller in All Star 6, which is genuinely great and genuinely
Mm.
funny. And she said, that's the most fun I've ever had doing Drag Race. And it's like, wow, bold to say that, but like, cool. Like, I'm glad that this recent experience I was able to unlock that for you, but like, I just need the rest. That's the kind of thing. So, not the pick I'm excited about, but she's had some moments I've enjoyed before. We'll see.
I just have to say, I had utterly forgotten about that table talk challenge. I think I've wiped it from my memory, and now it's flooding back like bad PTSD. Because so much of All Star 6 was bad PTSD. I mean, I like Sonique very much, but that's one of the strangest seasons that they've ever had. Um, you know, let's see what Ginger does. You know she's going to kill it in Snatch Game. By the way, I have no tea on that. I'm just saying, but you know she's going to do great in the comedy challenges or anything that's like a spoken comedy sort of thing. And she is a theater queen, and she
Mhm.
does Drag Race Live. She's the host there now. So we'll see what happens. But I have to tell you, Evan, I don't know how long she's going to last, but the inclusion of this one next queen is the most exciting to me.
I
It is
never
the
thought she'd be back. I never thought it.
ever. I've been waiting all this time. The Want to talk about a robbed queen? Acid Betty from Drag Race season 8, who killed her elimination lip sync, like didn't even deserve to be in the bottom that week. She and Thorgy were both robbed. Contributed to iconic moments in a very short season. Perhaps had one of the best live finale interactions with Trixie Mattel that if anyone ever remembers. Um, she was probably outside of the first 4 seasons, or I guess 5, because I don't know who the villain really was on season 5 and 6, or season 6, I
Roxy.
guess. No, 5, yeah, Roxy. But on season 6, it was all like, they were all just, catty with each other and sort of
Yeah.
mean. Um, and there wasn't really a villain on season 7. They tried to, but she was the precursor to Diabetti and Plain Jane and Mistress. And that is the one and only Acid Betty. And this look is fucking fire. Her makeup is incredible. And if this means she's coming back even for a year or 6 months to do more drag, I am all fucking for it. Like, I love this.
Yeah. I am stunned. I am excited. It just, again, it seemed like when she was on Pit Stop a couple of times, I was like, okay, so clearly the relationship with WoW is still okay in some degree there. But this has been a neglected Robbie Queen for the longest time. The fact that this is even happening is exciting. And it's now the kind of thing where, listen, we just finished season 17. She was on season 8. There's a 9-year difference. There's a lot of people who've gotten into Drag Race who have no idea who she is. And
Yeah.
that's like, again, one of the best parts about it. You want to see how she's grown. You want to see if she's still a total fucking cunt, which I have a feel like she probably is. Like it's a really good mix. And also, as we determine when it comes to casting these seasons, there's always the question of like, do you always want great drag queens or do you also want great TV? And the answer, of course, is finding a mix between both.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, there's going to be some great TV in here because these are going to be some contentious queens. Will she get under the skin of Alyssa Hunter? Probably. Like it'll be a good experience. I'm very excited to see. I don't know if I'm going to love her or hate her. I just know I will be watching. There's no question. The fact that she's here is going to bring some eyes.
And just really quick, if people want to know what she's been doing all these years, she was a graphic designer. She had a graphic designer job like before she even got on season 8. But she is I could talk about her for literally 40 minutes. She is one of the original aughts like club kid queens. Like she was a club kid queen, and when Thorgy and Bob were on season 8, they were, even though Bob and Thorgy were relatively young, they were like in their late 20s, they were known as like New York legends, all three of them. So when they were on that season, it was wild. And when Acid showed up, no one ever thought she would do Drag Race in the first place. But when she left the season, she started working for Boss. She did all of the original graphics in the first couple Work the World tours. Like that is all her. That's all her vision. She went basically behind the scenes, and then she came and did a tour. She did when we had, I know people want to wipe the pandemic from their brains, but when there was the drive-in drag, she did a whole thing with like lasers, and like she was part of that. And she had a number when they came back from the first year in 2021. And then she sort of like stepped away from doing it. And I don't know if that was, I don't know the real story behind that, but she'd been trying to get back on the show, and there were just rumors that she and Wow didn't get along. So I'm just super happy that she's back. I don't know what happened, but I knew Paramount was always a fan of her. So sometimes it takes time to get people back in the mix, and Paramount usually is like the good cop trying to make that happen. Anyway, we have another Betty who it appears is already good friends because of the show with the first Betty, and that is another sort of queen who's going to have some fun in the workroom, the aforementioned Diabetti. Evan, what did you think of her look?
Uh, Interesting. Not what I expected. And also, she is looking even slimmer and better and just like ready to go. And I just like, I feel like the narrative on her has changed so much over the course of her time, because throughout the season it was very much, oh, she's kind of a bitch to a lot of people, she's just saying these things, putting Georges and Jasmine Kennedy on the spot and just having these rivalries, and then at some point you realize, oh fuck, she's doing really good drag. I would say
Yeah.
even her finale number that she did where she was the
Oh,
preacher with the waving things in the background, like it
so
was
good.
really good. So is she better than Rob Queen? Maybe. And the fact that in her interview she is cognizant of her perception and how it is, that she also had one of the more recent interesting reunion moments too, talking about how she received a lot of death threats and having to, go back and forth. And, like she has a very tough relationship with the fandom, but also look at some of the cast. Some of these queens have had very contentious relationships with the fandom as well. So the fact that she's here, the fact that she's giving this edgy look that is kind of in her wheelhouse, but very much an extreme. I'm super curious. I really am kind of surprised how much I'm like excited to see her and root for her. Like I hope it's good. I kind of hope that she's not an early out. I'm really super interested to see.
One quick heads up. This look is probably the least Utica designed look I've ever seen, but this was designed by Utica.
My God.
It's great, but I would never have guessed that it was Utica. I think the really interesting thing to me about Jaya is I changed my tune on her when I was at that Vegas finale and saw that
Mhm.
number, and she was so good. And I remember I was with my friend who came with me, and we were both like, "Shit, she gonna make top two?" Because it was significantly better than a number of the other like performances when you saw it live. Not that they were bad, but it was just
Right.
that good. And I have to say, she is like Ginger, like I'm trying to think who else in this cast. No, I think just like Ginger out of this cut, she is a queen who has persevered. Like she
Yes.
has not given up. She's very like Angeria. She has like worked her ass off. She did Drag Race live. She has toured. She did Work the World. She was like, you want me to go to this 25 cities in like a month? I will do it. Like, and it's been smart, and it's paid her bills, and it's made her a mainstay in some ways, but also it's this weird juxtaposition. I also feel like she's the most forgotten out of that top five. Is
Yeah.
that not wild?
Right, I would agree. And like it was a good season altogether. And let's not forget, this is her running up against the types of Willow Pill and Lady Camden, and Angeria Paris Van Michaels. Like it was stiff competition, but
And Bosco.
and Bosco, yes, she had such a great evolution in her season. And it's the kind of thing where it feels like she's just continuing to evolve. And I think again, talk about what you want in All Stars. You want to see a queen that has leveled their pussy up, the pussy staircase, if you will. This feels like it. Like it's. I hope it works out. I hope it's great. I'm just super excited.
I want a Betty and Betty tour. So guys come
I
to
hope they
precinct.
become
Oh,
friends.
no, I'm pretty sure they are friends. They're like been commenting on their thing. She calls her mother or auntie or something. Like, she calls her acid that, I guess.
Anti-mother.
Auntie mother. Oh, see, let's
It
make that
all
happen.
comes around.
It all comes around. But what's interesting, you just made an excellent point about queens who have persevered and fought, for a long time. And I found one of the most interesting things out of the promo was something the next queen said, Denali. So Denali admitted something she would never talk about when she was on her original season, is that she'd only been doing drag for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that it wasn't it wasn't a positive. She was super confident when she came on that season. She thought she was going to win. She thought she was going to be top 4. Did not happen, but she became a fan favorite. She has one of the best, whatever the post-pandemic era is, or she was, yeah, because it was after that, of lip syncs. Her 100% pure love lip sync to this day is still like
One of the
Crystal
most viewed
Waters
on the
thing.
channel, hands down. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Crystal Waters thanks her for the streams and the paycheck that comes in because the song sort of came back. You started
It
hearing it in the
recharted
clubs.
because of that fucking lip sync. Yeah.
Yeah. I love this look. She looks utterly incredible.
She looks amazing. She looks, and speaking of people hot out of drag, by the way, we want to talk about the actual trade of the
Yeah.
season, people who don't have to spell it out on their outfit. But like the thing that endeared me to her the most was outside of, let's not forget, during the either I think it was the reunion episode, her versus Lala Ree doing the Be My Lover lip sync for the local bar
Mm-hmm.
charity, whatever, and she just fucking destroyed it. She ate it. But the other thing too is that she also did a video after her season, Chicago Drag Excellence, and it was basically this 8 minute like
Yes.
stamp video that had not all, it wasn't just her, it was also all the Chicago queens. So of course you're gonna have Shay, you're gonna have Vixen, but I'm also talking about Auntie Chan, Lucy Stool, like the other lesser Kool-Aids. Like it's just like all of them there. Like it was a truly a fantastic like homage to the city. It was like I could tell that she could realize her career was a little bit more than that. She has one of the more. It's hard to have a good post drag YouTube show because obviously Maddie Morphosis might have the
Yeah.
best one, but her drag queens on Ice one pretty entertaining. She gets good guests. It's good reactions. It's a fun time. Like I think she's really weaponized it here. I just can't get over as much as I love her, as much as I really am hashtag Team Denali putting money on it, even though I could be wrong. She just didn't sound like super enthused in the promo, and that gets me worried. I'm not sure when it was shot. I'm not sure what the deal is on there, but the fact that she admitted that she'd only been doing it for 2 years, again, shocking. Let's not forget near the end of her season, her and Rose both had to deal with the weaponizing their BFAs accusation, which they then decided to
Yes.
make merch out of. But like she's she waited for a while. She was waiting for the right time. I hope it's the right time too, because I think she is very much a fan favorite. I'm rooting for her. I hope she does well, but if not, we at least have this look. My God, this wig, this fucking question mark coiffed wig thing that she has, beautiful, immaculate.
The entire outfit is stunning, and I think no matter what happens, that I hope she takes the love from the fan base because I think her promo was like one of the third most popular, like in terms of likes on Instagram, like or just in like 12 hours or whatever it's 14 out, whatever it's been. And I hope she takes the love she's getting. I had a friend message me like an hour ago, just out of the blue, her promo being like, I love her. I'm so happy she's back. And I think that the more she hears that, the more I hope that keeps her going, no matter what happens. But I think she's super talented. I'm very excited for her. But Evan, that makes us last but not least.
No, Greg, I don't want to.
Back, back, back again. No, just back again. It's the cuckoo.
It's the cuckoo.
It's the one and only Cynthia Lee Fontaine. Um, And I have to say, Cynthia is an angel. Like Cynthia, if you see her on
What
social
she's had
media,
to endure,
yeah.
my God. Like she in the
But
promo, she talks about the various surgeries that she had. But let's not also forget that on season 9, she talked about almost dying in the Pulse nightclub shooting. Like
yeah.
been through some shit for real.
Her
Yeah.
her life has been great, like crazy. It also just in the span of so wait, All Stars 8. So it's been 8 years since or it's been maybe 10 years since they shot it, since All Stars 8, so since Drag Race season 8, because we're on 17, so they're shooting 8. Yeah, so it's been 10 years. Over the past decade, her life has been absolutely crazy. But I do have to say, this is hands down the worst look of the entire
Oh my God.
promos. And I feel bad because I know she has amazing connections, especially to so many Latino designers, and she has a huge connection to not just Puerto Rico, but to Mexico. And I will say, out of all the queens in this cast, she is the biggest international supporter. She watches almost all the seasons. She's a huge fan of Drag Race Mexico. And I think she's actually helped get a lot of those girls gigs in Austin because she's still in Austin.
So
But
you're
she
saying she'll
is
be on the
just,
pod? She'll be on the pod?
oh,
Okay,
I
cool.
mean, certainly after I made that comment about her outfit, she will. Uh,
All
but
drag is
she's,
valid. We love them
I'll
all.
drag is valid. But I do have to say, I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Cynthia Lee Fontaine.
Because the
So I
thing is,
just,
she does nothing wrong. She's
no.
just love. That's the thing about her. As much as like she may not be the most drag race ready girl in terms of challenges, in terms of like she's still fun. She's still joyful. She doesn't have a hateful bone in her body, even when Charlie Hides is sniding at her during a season 9 newscaster challenge. Like, she's just in the embodiment of just joy. And also, what a great way to end the season 9 Gaga episode. Oh, there's one more queen. It's Cynthia Lee Fontaine. Why not? Let's make it happen. It's great.
I think what endeared her to me the most, and I liked her on her season, is if anyone remembers, she got eliminated on a roller skating challenge
Hmm.
where she had the worst short shorts that
Oh,
any queen should ever be wearing. And what we didn't know at the time is she felt so sick because
yeah.
she did not know she had cancer. And the production staff were just thought she had the flu. They were like, "Do you want to do this?" She's like, "No." She insisted, and that whole cast will tell you they didn't know if she was gonna not make it like alive, but they thought she was just super sick, like doing that. And you would never know it watching. Like she like was a trooper and went through it, and then she kept it all secret until she got through her cancer and she let people know that she made it through. I just she it's hard not to root for her, even if maybe some of her aesthetic is not, your favorite drag.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I'm still excited to see her. I will just say, I was briefly, because you mentioned the Instagram thing, I decided to just briefly pull up the
Yeah.
TikTok for the official Drag Race account. I wanted to
Oh,
see where the views
TikTok.
were. I mean, just to see. And like, it's kind of all over the place. There's a lot of views that you're seeing for Acid Betty, not as many views for Alyssa Hunter. Like, they're all in like the 800,000, 130,000, that kind of range. With the exception
Oh, I
of,
know. I'm gonna guess.
go ahead.
Lydia B. Collins.
If the top one here is Mistress Isabel Books with 163,000, no, no, no. Lydia B. Collins has 400,000 views already since this got
Yeah.
posted. So fans are on board for the butthole,
I
let me tell
I
you.
think the butthole has, if I'm correct, she's probably hit 1 million on Insta by now, 1 million views. And
Good.
her photo already had 120,000 likes in like that was 2 hours ago. So yes, they made the right choice. She's a star. This will be very fun to watch play out.
Now, you actually spoke to the butthole not
I
too long
did.
ago. Absolutely. Now, it's interesting because if y'all listen to our episode that we had the other week, we played some of the interviews that Greg did with some of the other casts that weren't in the top 6 over here. But this one, we actually had to hold very specifically because she was talking a little bit about her All Stars journey. So this is from the same session. Do you want to set this up at all?
I do. So just again to preface it, this was shot on the finale day. So they had already done the Lollapalooza, the Linksig Lollapalooza, I think 2 days before. They had like a day off. Then they came back and so they knew everything that had happened. They knew Susie had won, and they knew the finale was ongoing. Like when we were doing this, the queens, it was when the top four were still in their entry outfits. Like they just come into the stage. And Ru took a break and they came back and did press, and then they were all going back to shoot the rest of it. So they hadn't even shot performances yet. It was sort of early in the day. But she was just there for, shits and giggles. And because she knew that she had other things down the road. And just in the context of this, you should know the following week, she might have come back and had to do more. So it will be, I think in hindsight, you need to understand how stressful this would make a normal human being, and just listen to how cool and calm and excited she is. But we should play. And also one other quick thing. If you are a young journalist or a young member of the media and you want to, this is my one little lesson of experience I'll tell you, always ask a question. Don't think you can't. So we edited out the part where we had a whole conversation with the publicist where I could actually ask about All-Stars because it was sort of awkward and it's not something anyone wants to listen to.
Nothing's announced yet officially, except
but do it. Always ask, because if not, no one else on the red carpet asked her about this because they didn't want to get in trouble. And I knew that because I wasn't doing video, I could hold it and use it later on. So we should play it. Let's let people listen.
Absolutely. And if you get a chance, the playlist, Greg has the article talking about the cast, right? It's up right now. If you get a chance, we will link it in the show notes. But yeah, let's go ahead and listen to the exclusive interview with the wonderful Lydia Butthole Kollins.
I'm Gregory Ellwood.
Hi,
Oh, nice to
Lydia,
meet
nice
you.
to meet you.
So first of all, how has this whole experience been overall for you? For this season of Drag Race?
Right. It has been, batshit is a word to describe it. Completely off the wall. Everything that I thought it would be, it was, but also wasn't. I've just been having a blast. Yeah.
When you went to the show and you were on it, harder than you thought it was going to be, what you expected?
So, I guess it was harder than I thought, but I thought it was going to be harder than I thought. So, I think it was what I expected in turn, if you're following me.
No, I'm totally following you.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think it was just about what I thought. I think your mindset is the biggest thing about the show. It's your biggest asset. Because if you feel like you're going to do well, you have a more probable chance of doing well. But I went into it horrified, so I feel like I was setting myself up in a sense.
So when you had gone home, you'd won the week before.
Yeah.
You felt like you were finally on a rhythm. You seemed more comfortable in the show. Were you shocked to go home the following week?
No, I thought I was going home every week. I thought the week that I was in the bottom with Ariete, week 5, I was like, wow, what a great last day on Drag Race. That was a fun run. I was convinced I was going home every episode. I thought that everyone had it out for me. And I guess it was kind of right in the end, but not really, because I made it kind of far.
So obviously one of the things about this season is your relationship with Corey, and
Yes.
both of you have embraced it. And even on What You're Packing, when you went and shot those, you have the t-shirts, are so adorable. Do you remember when you were on set going oh wait, we're not just flirting?
I don't know. I feel like it happened quicker than we thought it did. I definitely saw Corey first and my neck snapped. I was like, oh, the divas are here. Okay, Corey is here. But yeah, I think that it sort of developed into something more than just flirting after the show, more than anything, because we actually had an opportunity to hang out and get to know each other as human beings instead of as drag queens in a competition. So it was sort of after we developed it a lot more.
I'm genuinely curious, how hard is it to even in an early relationship with someone, dating someone,
Right.
not to overthink it, not to be wait, we're on TV in a couple months, should we speak to, how do you go with your feelings and not sort of ignore that you're going to be on a global platform months later?
Right. I think it's that you just said it. You kind of have to ignore it. You have to ignore all of the fears and all of the horrible things that could happen. Don't feed into that.
Negativity?
Yeah, don't feed into the negativity. I would say just have fun. We're just having fun. We're enjoying each other's company, and people seem to enjoy that as well. So it's a win-win. But it is a lot of pressure. I stress out more than all of these girls on the cast. I feel like I have the most anxiety in the universe. So I am struggling having the keys to the kingdom, but I'm having a great time too.
So wait, the edit, nothing would ever give away that you would seem that stressed. You seem the most cool and calm and relaxed.
No. I'm so pent up. I'm so anxious. And that is no exception when it comes to Corey. I'm a maniac. If anyone looks at Corey, I'm oh, what's that about? Interesting. But no, yeah, I'm a maniac, I fear.
On the season,
Yes.
what was your favorite challenge? What was the part of the show that you enjoyed the most?
So, I actually enjoyed the lip syncs the most. Like, after they were done, I was like, okay, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that, even though I did not enjoy being in the bottom. The challenge win, that was like the icing on top. That was the cherry on top. But getting to lip sync in front of RuPaul is an honor every time. So that was definitely my favorite part. Yeah, Lollapalooza was great. I was so excited about all of the lip sync songs. But those nasty, rotted bitches kept stealing every song that I wanted. So I ended up with 2 songs that I had no idea any of the lyrics to, but I still slayed it regardless. It was fun. I don't know. I'm not actually pressed. It was actually very fun.
It was totally cool.
Yeah, it ended up okay.
And I gotta ask you,
Yes.
how stressful has it been for you to have to prep for
Right.
all of this? I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot, but I feel like one of the luckiest girls in the cast to be like. I feel very lucky to be stressed with doing double time. You know, it's a whirlwind. I feel like I'm in 2 different like timelines at the same time. So it's been a lot. It's been very hectic, and it's been a lot for my brain to sort of process. I haven't like had time to like even emotionally or physically process any of it. So you know, late night breakdowns do be happening, but I think I'm handling it pretty well. I'm keeping my head above water.
Well, I guess my question is, are you like, wait, no, I should save this for All-Stars.
That.
Should I use this for this? Like,
I guess
is that
okay,
in
yeah.
your head?
So yes, so like for all of the finalized steps of season 17, I guess I wanted to show exactly what I was doing the entire season. I wanted to show Lydia. I made my looks. I made the Lollapalooza look. I wanted to just, you know, do Lydia to the fullest extent and sort of send her off on her season 17 journey, you know, where she is at that point. Now for the next part, for part 2, the remix, I went balls to the wall, and it was something that I'm doing things that I would have never previously thought of doing. So I'm very excited to let that out.
And when they ask, how much time do you actually have?
I had gotten back from season 17 filming, and it was like 3 weeks later they called, and I had about like 5 days to a week to sort of like get it all prepared and all ready. But it was, you know, it was chill. I think that if there's anyone that could do it, it is LBK. So I don't know.
Did you hesitate at all to say yes, or was it automatic?
It was an automatic yes to go back. I feel like, you know, you can't pass up an opportunity to A, be on TV, and also B, get to share your art in front of RuPaul. So yeah, automatically I was like, fuck yeah, why not? What do I have to lose?
And so it's one thing to agree to do that, but you didn't know what the fan reaction was going to be. Mm-hmm. How relieved are you? Like, you become a fan favorite.
Right.
Are you
but there's
relieved?
still time.
Were you relieved? Like, were you like, oh yes, phew, I made the right. Are you happy?
I don't know. I think everything happens for a reason. So regardless of what the outcome was, yeah, I'm absolutely happy about the support of the fans and how well received I am on the show, and, you know, in general. So I could not be more grateful and happier, but I think it wouldn't have changed my decision regardless.
Smart. And the last question before she pulls you away is there anyone that's reached out, anyone celebrity or anyone in your DMs that you were like, oh my gosh, like never in a million years, even another queen that like.
Yeah, actually, a few of the Drag Race girls have reached out to talk to me. Silky and Chad Michaels has shared some lovely words. Not like just I was at Mickey's and she was just there, and I introduced myself and she was very kind. Kasha Davis. There's been a lot of drag. I think the most insane part is just like getting into this world. I feel like I've infiltrated something, and my mind is just blown every time I meet like any Drag Race queen. Yeah. So I'm constantly being shocked. I think the most shocking is RuPaul, though, for sure.
Wait, one last one.
Yeah.
Is what do you want to do with all of this next? All-Stars is over. It's the fall. Like, are you going to stay in Pittsburgh? Do you want to move to New York or Boston or LA? Like, where do you want to be a year from now?
So I don't know exactly where I want to move. I don't know what the move is there. I'm thinking of just staying in Pittsburgh for a minute, but I don't know. Continuing on, I just want to do drag forever. I want to be in a horror movie. I want to be in horror movies. I want to do. I don't know. I want to make clothes for people. I have so many ideas, and I'm excited that I now have the opportunity to carry those ideas out into the world.
5 days to 7 days?
I mean, it's not unheard of for All-Stars, but
Right.
usually the backups And also we should clarify, she only had to prep for three episodes.
That
But still, and someone did clock, a friend of mine clocked that so they, if you looked online, they did a sort of montage of all the queens coming into the workroom, super quick. So you don't hear what they say, but it's just like you see their outfits coming in for All Stars. It's on their Insta account. And the outfit she's wearing was an outfit she had for season 17 that was in What You Packin'. That's like hanging in the background, which was weird because they shot that after she shot All Stars, and I'm not really sure why she included it, but whatever. But what I love about it is re-listening to it is there's two things that I forgot about is she emphasizes it's always an honor to lip sync for RuPaul, which insinuates she lip syncs for her a number of times. And I'm not giving anything away. If you're in the top 2 of the week in this format, you lip sync for your legacy. That's how you get more points. It's not a bottom lip sync for your life until the end of the show. And then when she talks about how, you know, this was the season 17 looks, and then this was something for the most part that was different. That promo look is a commissioned look. She did not make that. So she no doubt worked with the designer or whatever, but one of the reasons it looks so freaking good is she used the money they gave her and, like, you know, got something incredible because she knew she needed to look different when this came around.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited for her. And she just, again, like she said, you know, she's had some breakdowns, but like she has the temperament for it. And that's kind of what you're looking for more than anything else in here. Someone who's not going to be too stressed over it, who's like, I'm just happy to be here. And also, you know, when a queen like Denali, when it's like, I got called for All Stars 8 and I said no, like, it's pretty bold to say no. You don't know if you're going to get that call again. So I can see the end of like the strategy of waiting until you're personally ready, but also, oh my God, you want to invite me to be on program television again that's broadcast worldwide? Why would I say no to that? Like, I think she's taken that opportunity. She's going with it. I think no matter what happens, she's going to have a career ahead of herself. So it's very exciting.
And I'll say this to anyone listening. If you are one of those people that sometimes in the summer goes back and like rewatches like the seasons because you're bored, because they put them on Paramount Plus like in a couple weeks or months. I think that's usually like a couple months. Watch how they do an excellent editing job of keeping Lydia prominent, but sort of in the background so they don't overexpose her for when she was going to come for All Stars. It's actually quite brilliant how they pulled it off. Because remember, I think I even said, like, it's so weird that she's... And also, if you go back and watch the promos, when they're doing promo week in New York with all her season 17 sisters, she's intentionally the quietest. She does not speak up that loud. But when you meet her, she's very loud and... Not loud, but she is more charismatic than you think.
Impressive, outgoing, yeah.
Yes, but it was intentional because I know that I would put money in Vegas that the Paramount publicist said, hey, just be chill. Like, if you get a question, ask it, but like let your other co-stars enjoy the spotlight because you have something else coming.
Yeah. And now she's going to have this new era for her, which she pulled together so
yes.
quick. And that's the thing, the fact that she knows, I feel like there may have been a little bit more intention in terms of what she served in the old Lydia and what is going to be the new one. So as this promo look shows and as the fan responses, I think she's off to a good start. But I want to kind of back to one other thing. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, are you going to ask about, is this about All Stars or about something else?
All Stars in general. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you do it because then I have a question for you before we do our wrap up for the episode.
Yes. So the biggest thing I was wondering was just, what do you think of this cast? Because very specifically, I feel like the season 8 cast was a bit of a mishmash. It was a mix of queens people who'd wanted to see for a while, like a couple of Ru picks, and then a bunch of early outs. Like, it was like, a lot of people have been asking for an early out all-star, and they tried to split the difference. I don't think it worked that successfully. And then season 9, having the format of some girls that you kind of love, but not all winners. When it's a winner, there's a good fan base behind it, so that same amount of love wasn't there. This, overall, I feel like is a good cast. I feel like there's a lot of fan favorites, a lot of surprises, a lot of people that are going to surprise you. It feels like a really good mix that you'd want out of an All-Stars. I feel like this is maybe one of the better casts they've had since the All Winners, truth be told. That's at least
I'm going to be honest, my gasp was because when you were talking about, you said season 8, you meant All Stars 8?
All Stars 8,
Drag Race season 8, which is one of my all-time favorite seasons, which I will stand on a mountain that I love. I think the format will help this. I think what hurt season 8 was that some of those queens were in, like, how many episodes did we get Pandora Box for? Like, I mean, even when India Ferreira was on season 5, like, and she was like, they were doing sort of like bringing in some early outs, like she was there 4 or 5 episodes. Like, it was too much. And I feel like this, no matter what, you're getting them for 3 episodes, and if they're good, they come back. And so even if you listen, you're getting 3 episodes of Deja Sky, and bless. Like, and listen, and if Nicole Page Brooks is amazing and she makes it to the next group, that's great. But you're still, if you don't like her, you're only gonna get 1, 2, 3, maybe 6 episodes of her at best. Like, so it's really smart, and it makes me super excited if they keep doing this, because I feel like they can bring in other early outs who you would not want to see for a whole season, but maybe they might surprise you and come back and do something different that you weren't expecting. Now, do I think Calorie Kardashian can come back and, like, slay the world? Not really, but you never know. And if you start going back and looking at the list of queens, you're like, well, shit. I mean, I want Blank, who came back for 1 All-Stars, to come back. I want Thorgy to come back. I want, like, it sort of opens the possibilities in so many ways, which is what my next big question is for you, Evan. Evan, for the next season, or maybe, by the way, there's a lot of reasons why people think they're going to keep doing this. I think Aja has told a bunch of people that she thinks it's the next era of All-Stars, that they're going to do this format for a while. My question for you is, if you could pick 2 international veterans to be on the next season of US All-Stars, who would you pick? Who comes first top of mind that could be on the next season of this would be actually All-Stars 11. Who do you think that WoW and Paramount would be like, agree, yes?
I mean, in a perfect world, Carmen Farala, but outside of that, God, I mean, do you have 2 ready to go? I'm just so on the spot right now.
Well, I have one that should be insane, that I'm sort of shocked you have not thought about.
Ooh.
Well, the Filipina legend, Marina Summers.
I mean, that, I feel like that almost goes without saying, but yes, she would absolutely destroy. And to the record, the other thing I wanted to just say, 18 queens, that's a lot of goddamn queens. That's a lot.
Which is why you can bring an international queen in. Granted, visa issue. Like, we need to make sure, the country's letting people come in with visas. But I do think there's a window here. And I'm just saying, keep your eyes on. My other one, I actually think they would pick a UK queen. I think they would, because with the success with the Vivian, and I think it could be, I think there's a I'm just going to be paying attention. That's all I'm going to tell you. That's all I'm going to say.
Listen, all I know is that if Cheddar Gorgeous is suddenly quiet on the socials for a couple of weeks, I'm going to have some questions, and hopefully they're the right kind of questions as to...
I'd say lip syncers. Think more lip syncers.
We'll see.
That might appeal to a younger 18 to 34, RuPaul's Drag Race demo. I love Cheddar, but just think of that.
Okay.
But anyway...
Yeah.
Before we end our episode, Evan, we do need to ask, if you have liked this episode and the exclusive content that we are giving you, please follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or on our YouTube channel. Please like and review so we can sort of come up higher in the search results. And of course, please follow us on Instagram. We are now on Bluesky. Someday we'll be on Threads. We might be. I don't even know if we are already. But we are there, and we will be posting more content in the weeks ahead. Evan, do you have anything else to add to that plea for support?
Do it. I can't think of anything. We're not gonna. Our social medias are not bracketed. It's just all one thing to go. I think if you subscribe to any of our socials, we will tell you one thing about All Star. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll tell you one queen.
Yeah. Oh wait, are we gonna do the Trinity thing? Like, if you follow all our things, we're gonna give you a prize package. Have you heard about this? No. Trinity and Chantel have this thing. If you follow us, we're gonna do
raffle.
like a raffle, and like they've been collecting merch from themselves and other queens, and it's like, okay. I mean, I love it. They're a fun podcast, but
Yeah.
listen, Trinity's in LA now. We never know we're gonna turn the corner. She might, yeah.
She'll wind up in Worldwide T Studios. You never know. It could be the
never
next
know.
thing. You never know. Well, that said, one thing that we do here that I think is wonderful about our podcast is that we always shout out an international queen. And if it's okay, Greg, I want to go first with, I think, maybe a surprising pick. But I've just been thinking about it. I think this is going to be, I think, one of the more interesting picks. But I decided to not go to Drag Race, but go to Drag Race adjacent, because I was really thinking about with this All-Stars format, with some of the other like offshoots that we've had. And although I will admit I've not seen literally every single episode of it, for a brief time, we didn't really have international seasons. No, instead, the closest thing we had was a thing called The Switch, the Chilean Drag Race iteration over here. And I'm not sure if anybody remembers, there was actually a couple names that ran through The Switch. And specifically with season 2, the first out of season 2 of The Switch was Paquita, as we later learned,
Yes.
which is crazy. But then we also had Candy Ho. Then number 2 queen of the season was Gia Gunn. But number 3, losing to, as she was known then, Miss Leona, as she would later be known, Leona Winters, of course. But there was one queen who did really, really well. The Queen of Impressions, and a queen who, from Mexico, refused to give herself a drag name because she was already known by her real name. And yes, I am talking about pavelarambulaoficial, who was the Queen of Impressions during her season as well. She was interesting because during her run on the Switch, she actually didn't win any challenge. She actually just pushed all the way through to the finale without a single win. But she had fan love all the way straight through. A lot of people loved her out of drag as well. And since then, she hasn't expressed any interest in Drag Race, but it's fascinating because I was looking up some of the other queens that had competed on the season, and my God, some people, the queens who we haven't heard of, like Francisco del Solar, they have 2.6 thousand 2600 Instagram followers. Like, it's next to nothing. But when she was like, I don't need to change to a drag name because I'm already famous enough, she has not been on any other TV show that I can tell outside of a couple of Spanish drag adjacent type things. She already has 160,000. Like, she's already set. She's at the level already. And while she is posting a lot more vacation photos as of late, she has still won a television show which was all impressions based because she does nothing but imitate all the great Spanish and Mexican singers of the day. So that is my shout out right now. I'm giving it up for Pavel, and as always, you can see our links in the show notes and when we post on our socials. That is my pick for the week.
First of all, that is a truly inspired pick. Like, I'm very impressed. And also the deep cut for the Switch, which, listen, even conservatives who think that Drag Race is too woke would say, oh no, the Switch. No, that's offensive. Like, the Switch was a lot. Like, it really, really was. And there's a reason why that format did not expand around the rest of the world.
30 episodes? Are you kidding me? Like, it was insane. My goodness.
Didn't a queen who was a RuPaul veteran do blackface on one of those episodes in one of those challenges? Am I not forgetting that correctly?
So who's your pick of the week, Greg?
Yes, let's move on. My pick of the week, I apologize if I've already picked this. We need to do an Excel spreadsheet.
I know, at some point.
I think we're at 22 episodes. I don't think I picked her yet, and if I did, I apologize, but she's top of mind because Drag Race France All-Stars is coming. And that is the bearded big queen of Drag Race France, the one and only Big Bertha. Big Bertha went home. She was top 5. She lost a legendary lip sync to Lolita Banana.
Mm-hmm.
Correct? If I'm correct.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have lost it. She should have stayed, and Lolita should have gone home. By the way, can you imagine if Lolita had gone, like, her whole, like, Drag Race? We may have been spared Lolita as a host of Drag Race Mexico. Like, so many things could have happened. But she is a super well-known queen in France. She does a ton of television. And if you saw the Unholy music video with Sam Smith and Kim Petras, she has a prominent part as this. You can't miss her. Like, she's the big drag queen in the number, which tells you Sam Smith watches Drag Race France, and he's a big Drag Race fan. So I'm rooting for Big Bertha. Big Bertha will be back on our streaming streams soon. And I would 100% check her out. She is, and if you're in Paris and there's a chance to go to a gay club and see her perform, she will put on a show. She's a star.
Do we know what bracket she'll be in for All Stars France? Has that been released as of yet?
You know what? I do have to say, I feel like if this does well, I mean, they could do this in the UK. Like, they could definitely, but I don't know if bracketed stuff like the sports stuff plays as well overseas. Like, it might, because they do have tournaments and stuff for like soccer and all that sort of stuff. But
Rugby, yeah.
or football, but it would be wild. Like, I feel like in the UK it would be super wild, and it would be fun to see it there. I don't think France has the money to do that many episodes, but maybe, you never know.
Yeah. Either way, I'm very excited. That's a great pick, as always. I'm so excited to see her back. Oh, I'm so excited for Drag Race France. We're gonna be expounding on that as it happens. But in the meantime, as always, follow us on the socials. Greg, as always, thank you so much. Thank you to our friends over at Paramount and Wild Wonder for the exclusive access to Lydia B. Kollins to make that interview happen. Truly, it was fantastic. And most of all, I had to ask the question I do at the end of every episode. Can I get an MA up in here?
You can get a cuckoo.
Okay. You know what? That's good enough. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. We'll catch you soon. Goodbye.